All right. I missed you. I missed this.
I was going to say,
not
why
that I
does
missed
it
you.
feel
I missed
so
this.
long since we've done this? Did we miss a week?
We missed a week because we're going to talk about why we missed a week.
Oh, yeah, we did miss a week. I was like, we missed a week for the cruise. I guess I missed it. We missed a week.
Okay, so we will tell you about our week, and we will also get into why I got frustrated. And then it'll be a nice little argument and debate for they love to see us fight. They love to see us fight.
I didn't know we were fighting today. I thought we were in a really good place. We were just making divorce jokes.
We were just making divorce jokes. I just want to do a big shout out the gate for our friends at Rebecca Creek. If you have not gotten a bottle of Rebecca Creek, it's such a great sipping whiskey. Not to mention they have...
I like the flavored vodkas, the Enchanted Rock flavored vodkas.
Enchanted Rock flavored vodkas.
Fun for playing around with cocktails for the summer.
And flavored whiskeys. And I want to throw a shout out because they're going to be a big sponsor for the event. I will be raising money for the actual Texas Rangers, not the baseball team. The actual Texas Rangers.
Like the dudes with the guns.
Yes, and they are going to sponsor that and give some auction items, because those guys give scholarships to fallen police officers.
Yes.
So I think that's great. But we'll talk about our other sponsors at the end or here in a bit, but we got to get into it. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
As always.
Thank you.
I'd like to give you a little, maybe tonight, put you on the spot.
Probably not.
That's Mason giggling in the background. Tatiana's giggling in the background.
From Rick too.
Yeah,
Everybody
Rick's giggling.
He's not getting laid tonight.
In the background. Let's talk about Rick being cheap, and we should talk about. I have of the philosophy that I will just make more money.
You don't care about money. I think like sometimes people think that you are like braggadocious because you just spend it, but I'll tell people you don't ever care. You've never, and when we had money and when we didn't have money in the beginning of our relationship,
I've never cared.
You never cared about it in a way that made me so freaking anxious. But you would give someone the dirty tank top off your body in a heartbeat.
But I think that God has blessed me because I am so generous.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I will say that my life did change when I had kids. When I had kids, I now take money, I put it where it needs to go, and then I just spend everything else. Like, does that make sense? Like, I know that
we're trying to be
college funds,
because I told you
IRAs, investments, got it. That money goes over there.
This is making me anxious. Can we please make sure everyone is okay?
Yes, and everybody's okay.
Yes.
So now we put money over there, and then I fucking do whatever I want over here. Because I also feel like if you have them I saw it online somewhere where somebody said there's two kinds of millionaires. There's the millionaires that save every single penny.
Yes.
Every single penny. They watch every penny. They make sure
they invest it.
They invest it and they don't spend any money. And that's how they get their millions.
Yes.
And then there's the millionaires that have the attitude that I have. I'll just make more.
Yes.
I will just make more.
Yes.
And that's my attitude is I'll just make more.
But you are not like most people in your ability to fall on your face or get tripped or make mistakes and get back up in no time and move back on unfazed.
I think,
and that is a rare quality.
I think if I could give any message to anybody out there that is or has been thinking about doing something else, to do it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to make a change. You're going to survive.
See you, and I'm like, that is so much easier said than done.
You're going to survive. You're going to make it. If you are a hard worker, you're going to be fine.
Have faith in yourself.
And it's I used to tell these comics, a lot of comics, they'd come around the open mics or whatever, and then they had a day job.
Yeah.
And I would tell them, I go, your day job is a crutch. Your day job does not fire you up to go, all I have is comedy, and I have to make a way to survive doing it.
Yeah.
Rick, how did, you're an entrepreneur. What is your philosophy on all of this? Like, were you forced into being an entrepreneur, or do you enjoy being an entrepreneur, or was it an accident, or was it all strategized?
Midway through my career, it started to get strategized. I had to take a chance. The day my second son was born, I was working for a company, and I quit to go start an app company, which I had no clue how to do. However, because of my background in television, we did a lot of behind the musics and worked with a lot of recording artists. So I went back to the well with my boy, my boy Pitbull, and he was one of the co-founders with us on the app. So it was kind of a strategic move, but it wasn't planned out before that. And then once you start getting into that, you never want to work for anyone else again.
Where you said
So there was an accident. It was working for a company. Then it sounds like you kind of got it, kind of accidentally fell into entrepreneurship, saw some success, and then go, okay, I'm doing this.
Correct.
but you also said you said after my second kid. So was having
there's so
your
much
family,
more
was that
pressure.
the catalyst?
No, in fact, I was. So we did it was called Roba, was a company. The day my second son was born, the day
Oh crap!
I had to go interview Pitbull. So, because you guys know his schedule. Like he was in Miami for 3 hours, so I had to leave Gigi to go interview.
Holy cow!
And there's nothing scarier than having 2 kids at home and no real source of income.
So there is I'm glad you brought that up. There is a process of selling the dream to your spouse, right? If your spouse is not on board with the dream, and Renee, the good news is when I met Renee, I was already following my dream. So there was no, hey, I'm going to now do this. It was, this is what I'm already doing. Right. So Mason came
And
out.
I was still young and naive and chasing the same dream. So I thought it was all really, really possible.
This is awesome. We're going to do this. But, for example, I had Mason out doing social media stuff for me this weekend, along with Eric. Eric, the single guy, Mason, the engaged guy. And Eric would laugh because Mason would have to step away from the craps table to have conversations.
I'm in it right now.
Right? To have conversations with his wife.
Yeah.
But, you're going to have those struggles too, Mason, where it's like, well, what are you doing? Right? You're in Atlantic City with Steve playing craps.
Exactly.
Like,
How does that work?
Must be nice, right? And it's like, no, it is work. It's part of it. And then Eric was like, so then Mason's phone was about to die. So then Mason was like, I gave her your number, Eric, which I used to do.
Yes,
Right? Which, by the way, was the exact right thing to do.
For
Right?
sure. Oh my God. If she could not have gotten a hold of you, it would have been bad.
It would have been, so
Yeah.
you help each other out. You did the right thing for 1,000%. But there is a part of entrepreneurship that if you are married, you have to sell the dream. How was Gigi on board 100%? Or was it like me? Because there were moments for me and Renee where she was like, fuck this dream, get a job.
Oh.
Yeah, you call it selling. I call it lying. Everything's good.
Oh, no, believe me, there was a lot of times that I was like, no, we're fine. Yeah, we can go home for Christmas. No problem. Yeah, we're going to be great. And Renee's like, of course we're going home for Christmas. And I'm over there looking at like bank accounts and, well, if I got this gig coming up, if I write a check today, I can get to the gig, cover the check and make it work. I mean, back in the day, kids, we used to write checks.
Yeah.
But no, there's definitely a part of if you have a partner is selling the dream, but it's also don't make it a part-time job, go all out. Because if you go all out, you're stuck there and you have to survive.
Yeah.
Right? And then for Rick,
You're pot committed.
yeah, and for me, when I had Garrett, right? When I had Garrett, I was like, okay, I really got to make this work.
Kids are a game changer.
But
for
then
sure.
you realize that I wasn't working at my full potential. Right? I wasn't working as hard as I should have been working.
Yeah.
I was working hard, but not as hard as I should have been working.
Yeah.
And then when Garrett came, it was, I got to do social media. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to make this happen. Then I really blew up.
Yeah.
Right. So I think, Rick, you were in the same boat where it was like, I have to make this work.
Yeah.
I just had a baby. I'm lying to my wife. We're fine. And then you go, I have to make this lie real.
That's exactly right. And I'm a big person that you're exactly right in the sense is if you have a safety net, you'll only have one foot in because you'll always have that safety net.
Yeah, you go, well, I got a check coming in anyway, or, I don't know exactly how this career's going over here, so I'm going to be good over here. I mean, you really got to bury yourself in it to make yourself fight like hell.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't go bury yourself on purpose.
But no, you know what I mean? Like get into it 100% where you're going, this is what I am going to do. I have to make it work.
Commitment.
It's a commitment.
Yeah.
And when the bills are laying on it, it's like, oh shit, I better get this together.
Yeah.
Right? I've always had that in me though. I've always been a scrapper. I'm not afraid of change. I'm not afraid to hurt people's feelings. I'm not afraid to
You adapt quickly too, which I think is so valuable.
But you know what's crazy? I'm glad you said that.
Duck and weave.
I've had to get better at it because I've done it so much.
Well,
I think in the beginning, I was afraid to adjust because I was stubborn, and I thought to myself, no, this is the right way. I've already told myself this is the right way, and then I was forced to adjust.
Well, then you see the time that costs you,
right,
and the value of that time.
So now I'm just like, okay, fine, that's gone. Move.
Yeah.
Okay, that didn't work out. We got through that. No problem. Move. Okay, that didn't work out, and then we just keep freaking, bobbing and weaving and moving. But
you have to be a confident human to do that.
You have to.
I say that like you have become even better at it, a master at it over time, but you go on stage every weekend and you practice that skill.
Every day.
You try a joke and it bombs, and then you get back on stage and you do a second show and you try that joke a different way to see if it works that way. Like you are constantly making mistakes or falling flat and then adjusting and fixing it.
But what's weird too is that I am still very insecure. I am very concerned about if people think I'm funny or not. I'm still very concerned about, was that bit, did I deliver that bit the way I wanted to, right?
Well, that's a normal human trait, and that's what keeps you getting better, right?
Well, because you have to answer all the questions, right? So, for example, we just posted a bit that is flying off the shelves right now. We are at about 600,000 views on Instagram, which, by the way, I need to put that same bit on TikTok. Remember, it didn't work out. But within these past 4 or 5 days, we've already had 600,000. And then now people are hitting me up going, oh my God, dude, why are people sharing this with me? So we got something going on here. Yeah. Now, the bit is the bit about me as a volunteer coach. And me talking about the dad coming to me and saying, why can't my kid play first base? And I go, your kid can't play first base because he sucks. Because we're throwing real baseballs now. Your kid's going to get hit in the face. And I don't want that to happen. That's why he's in right field. So then...
with the flowers.
A lot of great comments. Yeah, with the flowers. A lot of great comments of speaking the truth. Wish I could have said this. Awesome. I'm sending this to my baseball group. But I also got a lot of, it's your job to coach him up. It's your job to work with that kid and make sure that kid's good.
Yeah.
Right? So I didn't answer that question. In the joke.
Oh, in the joke, you don't answer it. Yeah.
And I thought I did, but I thought I did. And the problem is that when you do it in snippets, because in the beginning, that joke starts with me saying, don't put your kid in something they don't want to be in.
Right.
Right.
The context of the joke.
So that's me saying, hey, this kid doesn't even want to be here. I can't coach a kid that doesn't even want to be here.
Right. Yes.
Or the fact that, and then it's funny because then you get all the arguments, right? You get all these people going.
They're arguing in the comments.
Yeah, they're going, hey, well, where's the practice at home, right? How does the dad not know that this kid can't catch? Is he playing catch with him at home?
Do people think it was a TED Talk? Did they realize
that it was like a stand-up
Have you seen the comments? It's crazy, dude. Into it.
Steve Trevino, don't ever do a TED Talk.
I do a TED Talk every day with you. Every podcast is a fucking marriage TED Talk. but I'm still insecure when I hear those comments of people saying, well, coach this kid up. And what people don't know is, man, as a coach, I am the first one to go to the underdog. Yeah. And help the underdog.
Oh, the comments really bothered you, I can tell.
They bother me.
But it's a joke.
But it is a joke, but it's also real. And I also felt like I tried to cover all my bases.
Yeah.
Right? When I said, like, you put this kid in Little League, he does not want to be here.
So now do we have to release
Right.
the extended version of the joke?
But it's just interesting how people go nuts. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, holy crap. Like, and then I feel bad because some people are like questioning my character and going, man, well, why don't you coach this kid up? Or I was in right field. I'm not saying all right fielders.
See, they're taking it personal.
They're taking it personal.
It's either their kid sucks and they're like, hey, my kid sucks.
Or some.
Or they were scarred as a child by a coach.
Well, I do have some
really.
comments that were like, I was in right field. Oh, wait, I did suck. Like, there's a couple of comments like, oh, wait, I did suck at baseball. So I'm glad, And who's to say that kid doesn't go out and become the best baseball player ever? I mean,
Yeah.
who knows? But again, it is a joke. But I'm just saying that, yes, I am confident enough to put it out there. But yet I am still.
You still have feelings.
I still have feelings. And
You have big feelings.
And I get it. I get insecure
Yes.
about things. And it's hard to put yourself out there. And I think that's what people don't truly understand. It's like, motherfucker, you do it. How about you do it?
I know. Last week, after the last podcast we recorded, after we got off the podcast, Rick asked me if or was it on camera that Rick asked me if I would ever do stand up, and I was like, "Fuck no, I would never do that. No way."
Well, but I think Rick deals with it in the television world too, where like critics, for example, who the fuck are you? You have zero talent other than shitting on things.
Yeah,
The critic is a profession.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what a sad place to be a critic and to be able to tell somebody you're already shit. I had a critic that just completely shit on Simple Man. I mean, free and
it was the only one though.
but I'm telling you, this guy had zero.
But even at the end, he was like, at the end of it all, he was like, "It's not for me, but still worth watching."
But then I look at his reviews and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Nobody watches this guy's reviews. Number one. Number two, he thinks he gave Tig a beautiful review. Don't worry about who Tig is. Don't go look. And I'm thinking to myself, collectively as a stand-up community, we have all agreed that Tig is not funny and that Hannah Gatsby is not funny. And those are the two comics that this dude was like, wow, these people are amazing. And I'm like, I think I'd rather be with all the comedians, right? But anyway, it still hurt my feelings.
It
Like
doesn't
it
take a
still
lot
made
to
me
get published
feel.
these days.
And same with Rick, right? Rick, you're out there, you put something out there, and then all of a sudden you get shit on, and it's like, well, fuck you, you do it.
Well, it's also, from our perspective, we're dealing with networks. So we're getting network notes, and it's like, well, if the network would have allowed us to do something different, then maybe the critics would have been different. So there's that extra layer of like what we want to do versus what the network wants are two different things.
So now you know how much it hurts me because I do what I want. And they still shit on me. And they still shit on me.
No one to
There's
blame
nobody
it
to
on.
blame.
Can't blame
Renee,
it on the
Captain Evil
network.
made me do it. It's her fault. She thinks Bryson sucks. But speaking of, Renee and I did miss a podcast last week, and I definitely missed you.
Yeah.
And I missed our weekly podcast.
Yes,
Definitely
I
missed
did
it.
too.
But it was worth it. And I hope everybody understands.
So worth it. We had an awesome family vacation.
Well, it was kind of twofold, and it worked out great. I ended up doing Off the Hook Comedy Club to pay for our vacation.
Yes.
And this trip because Garrett was invited to play in a all-star PG tournament.
National tournament. Yes. Like all of the USA. There was a team of kids from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, we had dude, those dudes, we need to check some freaking age, some birth certificates over there. Some of them had kids on other teams. Those kids had kids on other teams. That's how old they were. But it was an unbelievable experience. I could not be prouder of Garrett.
Yeah.
I had no idea. He actually got selected to play 9U tournament.
When he is
8.
8U.
Yes, he is 8U. He got selected to play 9U. I did not know that when we were going to get there, most of these kids were either turning 10 were already 10.
Well, and I felt bad because he was like telling my parents, he was like saying, oh, they're going to be all 10-year-olds. I'm going to be the youngest one there. And I said, Garrett, no, you're not. I just kept telling him because he was like making such a big deal.
I was like, no, they're going to be 9, dude. They're 9.
I was like, you're not, buddy. I was like, you're not.
Some of these kids were almost 11 with the cutoff. So Garrett had to play. And there was a moment for me. And Garrett is a very good baseball player. But there was a moment for me when I was standing in line to register. And I'm looking at these kids going, oh, shit. This is either going to destroy Garrett and intimidate him and make him feel like...
break his little spirit.
Break his spirit, and he's going to go, I'm never doing this again, right? Or, God willing, that he's a strong kid and a leader and that he will scrap it out with these kids.
Or blissfully ignorant.
Well, Garrett is definitely not blissfully ignorant.
No, he's not.
That kid is
a little old man trapped in a kid's body.
He's very, very sharp. But not only did he compete, he was also a verbal leader. At one point, they're shagging balls, and Garrett literally got in front of everybody at shortstop to shag balls. And then he went to second base to do it. And then in the scrimmage, every kid ran to shortstop. And Garrett was so smart. And he saw first base wide open, no kids there. And he ran over there and was like, I'm playing first. Never played first a day in his life. Then this kid, who is almost 11, who is 4 inches taller than Garrett, goes over there and he's like, I'm first base. I have a first base mitt. And Garrett goes, I don't care. I got here first. Nice. And then the kid was like, well, move. I'm first base. And Garrett's like, no, I got here first. And spoke up for himself and was super tough about it. Now, here's the ironic part. So then the inning changes, they run in, and the tall kid's dad was sitting right in front of me. And he goes, you stick up for yourself to his kid. Why didn't you play first? And he goes, because the other kid was like, I'm already here. And blah, 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 blah. And then the dad was like, I don't care. Tell the coach, move him out of the way. And I'm like, two ironic parts. Number one, you're getting mad at your kid and mad at my kid for doing what you wanted your kid to do.
Yeah.
Then we ended up at the same hotel and making friends with them. And then Garrett ended up hanging out with that kid at the hotel the whole time. Right? But Garrett never played kid pitch.
Yeah.
Got right in there. Never dealt with stealing bases. Got right in there. Where he struggled was at the plate. He struggled at the plate, but he was smart enough to get walked a lot.
Yeah. Well, because he's always had a coach pitch to him.
Yes. I felt very bad. We're playing Puerto Rico, and they're clocking these kids. So most kids are throwing between 51 miles an hour and 55 miles an hour. This kid from Puerto Rico was throwing 61. Okay? Garrett's second pitch takes one square in the back. Square in the back. And he was so stinking tough, man. And he
just kept saying, on the bone, not in the squishy part, on the bone.
Rick, he had a baseball bruise that was purple and black, this big, on his back. And poor kid, man, after that, he really was intimidated. And I could see it in him when he would go bat. He was shaking. And I would go talk to him and go, just do your thing, man. So he was able to walk. He went up to bat 8 times in the tournament. He was able to walk 5. He got hit once and walked, so that's 6. Then he struck out twice, because at the end of the tournament, I go, all right, we're over it. You get it. You know you belong here, Garrett. Swing away. I don't care if you strike out, which he did. And he didn't care, and I didn't care. The last day of the tournament, he barrels the ball and hits a dinger into center field, and I was like, thank you, Jesus.
He got to second base.
I hit a double. I go, thank God. Because I was afraid that he was, energy level came back. His confidence came back.
Yeah.
0 issues in the field.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he had the one play. He laid out for a ball and got it. And then he did a cutoff. They hit it deep right field. He's playing second. They hit it deep right field. Kid has to run all the way to the fence. Garrett's cutoff is pretty much where right field would be standing. Throws it to Garrett. The kid's gonna run home, and Garrett just on a line beams it to the catcher on a perfect throw.
Yeah.
And then it was fun after we all got to know each other, made friends.
Yeah.
Went to Top Golf with some of these people. What I really liked about most of the parents is that none of them were overly competitive, and they all had amazing baseball players.
Yeah.
None of them were overly intense.
Well, but his team, like these boys had never met. They had never played baseball together. He was playing with kids from all over the state of Texas.
Because it was the South, specifically South.
Louisiana. There were a couple of kids
Georgia.
from Georgia. There was a pitcher from Mexico. That kid barely spoke English.
Barely spoke English.
And these kids came together and made a team and played like a team.
And competed.
Yeah.
And it was really fun to watch. But afterwards, the dads were talking to me and they were like, man, your kid, man, he's really good because Garrett really proved himself, And I go, yeah. He's 8, and their jaws fucking hit the ground. And they were like, your kid's 8? And I'm like, yeah. And they were like, holy shit. So it was really cool to have these parents not know that he was 8. He was never a liability out there. And if I'm being completely honest, out of 11 kids or 12, they had 12 kids. Out of the 12, Garrett was top 50% of those kids.
I could have cared less. I was just super proud of him for still taking on like a leadership role in his team.
But there's so much
asserting himself.
Yes.
Amongst 10 and 11-year-old boy, almost
10-year-olds,
11-year-old boys. But
I mean,
10-year-olds.
there's something valuable about the lesson of meeting new kids, getting out there. And at one point I go, buddy, if you don't want to go out there because he was in so much pain, I go, you don't have to, man. And he goes, I don't care. Right? Now, my favorite part about all of it is that we got in the car every day and I would go, what did you learn? And Garrett would say, I want to be better than them. And I go, yeah, buddy. I go, when you're 10, you'll probably be better. He goes, no, now. He goes, I want to be better than them now. And I said, well, Garrett, I go, first of all, you need to be very proud of yourself. I said, you're a very good 8-year-old baseball player. I said, second of all, let me ask you, if you want to be better than these kids, what do we got to do? And he goes, work. He goes, I'm ready to get to work. He goes, Dad, when we get home, we get to work.
Oh my God. And then he was like so upset because you didn't have time to play with him and he wanted to play.
Oh my God, I didn't have time. I got back. He's like, Dad, baseball. Dad, let's go. So at the end of the day, I'm not trying to raise a professional baseball player. I do not need Garrett to get a scholarship.
Yeah.
I'm trying to raise a good man. And I hope that out of baseball, he is learning that hard work does pay off.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes. I hope that he's learning to be assertive and be strong.
Yeah.
I hope he's learning to walk into new situations with new people and learn how to make friends and be a leader in that room.
Yes.
And I was so proud of him. He goes, Dad, I'm really intimidated. I go, here's what you do. I go, you walk in that dugout, you introduce yourself to every kid and ask every kid what their name is, right? So he came back. He's like, I did it, Dad. I did it. I go, good job. And he goes, I already made friends. I go, good, buddy. You already made friends. I go, because you were the one. And I told him, I go, if you're scared and you're nervous, guess what? So are they. I said, so if you don't pretend like you're scared and nervous and you stick your hand out and shake everybody's hand and introduce yourself, it'll make everybody comfortable and it'll help you be a leader. And he goes, I did it, Dad. I did it. And he goes, I made friends, Dad. And dude, those little boys played at the pool because several of them were staying at the hotel. I mean, all day after that. And it was just really cool. As a matter of fact, one of the dads texted me and he goes, hey, do you know that our coach is about to be drafted to the MLB?
Wow. Yeah. The kid that coached Garrett's team in the tournament is about to be drafted to the MLB. Holy cow.
I had no idea. Because he was such a
goosebumps. Because he was just so like, I don't care. But this is fun. Play where you want.
I mean, if he ends up playing pro, to be able to look at Garrett and go, buddy, that was your coach.
Yeah.
You got to be coached by a real life MLB player.
Wow.
So it was really special experience.
What I thought was really cool is I was not an athlete. I did not grow up playing sports. It wasn't a big part of my life. But just to see all of the lessons that a child can learn through playing sports and the opportunities that
provides is really cool.
Well, and I heard
As a mom, I didn't think we were going to be learning all these lessons through playing baseball.
I don't know if I have shared this, Rick. You could tell me, but one of the things that somebody told me that really stuck to me, they said baseball leads to good kids, and the reason being is because it's very family oriented. Yeah. Grandma's there, grandpa's there, parents are there. The kid plays a game, and then they have 2 hours in between games, and the whole family. So basically, every Saturday, Sunday, you are with your immediate family all of the time.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why it leads to such great kids because of that. Right. So, with that being said, we talk a lot about baseball lately on this podcast, but we had a wonderful time. We stayed at an awesome. Was it a Hyatt?
Yeah.
In Naples or Fort Myers, slides, swimming pool, the whole thing.
Delilah loved the lazy river. It was just deep enough that she could stick her head up and bounce, like jump. She would jump, and she's swimming. She's doing great swimming. But she loved it. She just wanted to live in the lazy river. That's a cool thing to share too. We talked about how torturous the swimming lessons were with Delilah on old episodes of the podcast.
It has paid off.
It
has paid off.
It was worth sticking it out.
I mean, other parents are like, "How old is that kid?" And she's freaking flying, dude. But we had a wonderful time. So let's get to the part where
we're gonna fight. What are we gonna fight about?
Where I got upset.
You got upset?
So
I don't remember.
We get there Friday. We land. Drive everybody there, rental car, the whole thing. We get checked in. Saturday morning, I have to be up at 6:00 in the morning to get Garrett to the tournament, to meet his team, to have a practice, the whole thing. So I go and do that.
I know where you're going now. Okay, I'm listening.
It's
going to be real hard, but I'm going to listen.
Can I just tell
your version?
No.
Your version?
No, these are facts. Just to be clear, these are all facts.
Whose facts? Yours or mine?
Is it a fact that we got in on Friday?
Okay, I'll stop.
Is it a fact that I had to wake up at 6:00 in the morning?
Yes.
Is it a fact that I took Garrett to the thing?
Yes.
Is it a fact that we were in South Florida and it was 98 degrees and humid?
Yes.
And that I was out there till noon?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then I came home to the hotel, got in my car, and went and had to do early shows because in Naples, the show was at 6. So by the time I got to the hotel, it was shower time. And remember,
no, you went
because
and
Renee
you
wanted
shut
this
it down.
hotel. Because Renee wanted this hotel.
Facts. These are no longer accurate facts.
Who picked the hotel?
I did pick the hotel.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
But
hold on. Let me finish. Can I finish?
Rick, I think you might have to interfere.
So
at some point, you need a gavel. Rick.
I can't even get through the facts. I'm not even at the
why
I got
were
annoyed.
Not accurate. You didn't give me an opportunity to correct your inaccurate, quote unquote.
Please
facts.
tell me what's inaccurate, please.
The part you left out is that you did come back and you did take a nap in the hotel, and I did make sure to get the kids out of the room so that you could rest before your early show in Naples.
Because we chose that hotel and the kids, we wanted to have the kids and the wife in a comfortable place. It was a 45-minute drive to get to the show.
It was 30 minutes.
Google the Regency to the thing. 35, 40 minutes. So anyway, why do you object?
I'm not looking up how long it's going to go. I don't want this on.
No, Tatiana's doing it. Tatiana's already doing it.
I object.
So then it's 40 minutes. And then I got to get there 30 minutes early because that's what a good employee does. Get there, do 2 shows.
Yes, you did 2 shows.
Drive back.
Yes, you drove back.
Wake up again at 5:30 in the morning. Because
the next day the games were later.
He had to be there at 7:30 because the game was at 8.
You did not wake up that early.
Oh my God, I did. Look at Tatiana's telling you that. So I can't even get through the facts.
Keep going.
And I'm not mad yet. I will
Your
tell you.
Your facts are boring, sir.
That's why I tell you, but everybody needs to understand the facts. Go do the morning game, come back, eat lunch. Now my show on freaking Sunday was 4:00. So 4 and 7. So then I got to go back to the club, 4:00, 7 o'clock show, come back, okay? The next day, which is now Monday,
Yes.
wake up again early, take Garrett to the game. We go to the game. We get back, and Renee goes, I want to go to the beach. We haven't gone to the beach, and I want to go to the beach. And this is the only day we can go to the beach. And I said, Renee,
I said it just like that.
I said, I really don't want to go to the beach. I go, it's a whole thing because in this situation, you had to walk half a mile to sit down in the heat. Then a pontoon boat picks you up. Then you get on the pontoon boat.
I need
and
a
it's
violin. Rick
let me
needs a
finish.
gavel, and I need a violin. Mr.
So then
Trevino.
15 minutes on the boat. 28 minutes, 30 minutes. Okay,
So I was right for the record.
30 minutes.
Yes,
Not including traffic.
for the record.
También traffic.
Traffic.
So then she makes me go to the beach.
I made you. I'm
Yes.
pretty sure I said I can take the kids.
But that is where I get angry. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad that's just where I get angry because Renee threatens. I want to be with my kids at the
I
beach.
threatened.
Let me finish. I want to be at the
I
beach.
gave you the gift of a quiet, dark hotel room by yourself, sir.
No, I want to be with my kids and my wife. That's who I want to be with. And I would like to have a day at the beach with my family.
You don't like the beach.
No, but that's my point. If I
That
already
you-
don't like the beach, why make me go when I'm already exhausted? I said I don't want to go. And then you go, well, I'll just go without you. There is no, she's going to the beach is the point. There is no, well, what are the other options? It is in my head, I'm going to the beach with or fucking without you.
No.
Well, I didn't want her to go without me because I want to be with my wife. I want to be with my kids. So then
Which I love and appreciate. Thank you very much.
we
Stacey
go to the
Danielle.
beach, and the problem is that there's only shuttles that come back. The last one comes back at 4. You're looking at the beach, and they're basically telling you if there is not room on the shuttle at 4, you ain't coming back.
That's not true.
Did they not say that?
They are 2 shuttles at that hour if there are that many people on the beach.
So I go, we got to go back at 3.
They're not going to leave anybody on an island, Steve.
So yes, they have. They said they would.
They threaten because they don't want people to stay there. They want them to get on the
Well,
boat.
I don't want to be the one that knows that they're full of shit and go, hey, pussies, I know you'd pick me up. Like, that's also not a classy move.
Listen, they're not
by
going
the
to
way-
leave me and 2 kids
By
on
the
an
way,
island.
you have to, like I said, you have to walk half a mile to get to the shuttle. Then you get on the pontoon shuttle. Then it takes you to the beach.
A beautiful 8-minute boat ride to a beautiful
Then-
private beach on an island.
Then you have
Cue
to-
the violin.
Then you have to walk another half a mile to get to where you're going to sit. And guess what? Guess where Delilah wants to be? On my shoulders. So now I'm carrying Delilah. I got Garrett holding my hand. Renee's got the bag. And I'm walking
I was like, I'm the one who schleps the shit.
Well, I slept the kids, the humans. And then we leave the beach and Delilah's like, I'm hot. Carry me, daddy. So now I'm back on my show. And I'm just like, Renee, can we just do this another day?
Well, the details that you failed to mention is that we have a game schedule and we don't know how long the kids are going to continue in the tournament. So I had already had the discussion with the kids that if they wanted to go to the beach, Monday was the day to do that. That's when he had one game. It was at the top of the morning. We'd have time to come back and take the shuttle to the beach and come back. The other days, we did not know if that was going to be possible.
Okay, Rick, what's your opinion?
Well, gosh. All I know is a good 2 to 3 minute bit here. So
Okay, so since Rick is not going to take a side, when I know deep inside he's like, motherfucker, I have been there, and it is the absolute worst. And okay, let's get into
My wife made me go to a beach and watch my children entertain themselves by making sandcastles and splashing in the waves. It was terrible.
I do not get. Let's talk about pros and cons. Beach versus staying at the resort. At the resort, we had 4 pools, a lazy river, small slides, baby slides. We had big slides. We had a golf. Can I finish? We have a golf driving range. We have a restaurant. We have servers. Okay? All of that. At the beach, we have sand and water.
Which Delilah absolutely loves.
And that's why I'm telling you that I wanted to go when I wasn't dead dog tired, because I would have liked to have the energy and the motivation to play with my kids.
That
but
was
as
the
it sat
only
with
day
that,
Garrett went
I
to
was
the beach
so
because of his
tired.
schedule.
I was so tired and exhausted from a really hard weekend that I just needed one day to sit at the pool, drink a beer or a michelada or a whiskey or whatever, get in the pool and just do nothing.
We had a lot of those days. We were there a whole
Without
week.
me. I was at, you and Delilah did.
No,
I was at
Garrett had a
baseball
lot
tournaments.
of those days too. And I knew that the kids were going to be over doing the same thing every day at the resort. And
Rick, are
if
you a
we
beach
were
guy?
ever going to see the beach, it was that one day. Look, we're making Mason yawn. He's over it.
Rick?
Yeah, I'm more of a resort guy. Though I love the beach, but you kind of hooked me when you said they had servers.
Is this about you or our children?
Servers, good food, shade,
I like the boat.
no waves.
The boat, Delilah loved the boat ride. When Steve talks about this half-mile walk, it's a beautiful boardwalk lined with trees, and Delilah's like calling out wildlife.
On
Blue
my
birds
shoulders.
I've never even seen before, like little baby crabs she's spotting.
And what
like,
I am saying
loving
is-
every minute of it.
And what I am saying is that I get it. And I would have liked to participate, not that day.
And I'm telling you, I don't control the schedule.
We had 5 more days.
Did you end up at the beach another day? No.
No, because
it
you
didn't
insisted
allow. Because
that
it
we
didn't
no, it would have
allow.
absolutely allowed. See, Rick, it's impossible. I don't even know why I bring it up. And you know what the fucked up part about it is? This podcast, they're all Team Renee.
Are they?
Oh my God! Wait till you see the comments.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Well, they
just-
used to be.
They're gonna grow you worse than the
The
baseball.
tide has turned a little bit. Now the people are going, poor Steve, poor Steve. The tide has turned. The tide has turned. But all in all, I have to say that I'm really happy we did it.
Oh, really? Are you?
Yes.
God, I wouldn't have known.
I'm really happy we did it. That was just my one gripe, was that one day.
I made you go to the beach.
Yes, after a weekend of working my ass off. Yes,
I wish the schedule had
I would
been
like
a
to
little
move
more
on.
accommodating for your needs.
Yes, and they could have been. They could have been.
I hear Rick chuckling quietly in the background.
And we also had a vehicle that we could have gone to other beaches. We didn't have to go to that beach.
That's true. That's
story.
true. That part is true. Yes, sir.
Thank you. So,
But we didn't because you don't like the beach.
but I will go for my family, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I will go for my family.
I'll remember for the next beach trip.
Yeah. Hey, Steve, after 4 days of work, you probably don't want to go to the beach.
You had 2 days of show work. See?
And waking up super early. You didn't wake up super early, so she's over
No,
there.
I did. Delilah and I went to a lot of the games.
You went to a couple.
We went
2
out
games.
of. There were no. We did
The
more
last
than
2
2
days.
games.
The
We did
last
more
2
than 2
days.
games.
The last 2 days. Don't try to save face. The last 2 days. After a great beach trip and relaxing at the resort. Nobody waking up. Oh, I guess I'll catch a game with her tan.
No,
With her tan.
the morning that we went to the beach, Delilah and I woke up and went to the game.
Oh, she's like, oh, I feel like a game on my schedule. On my schedule. Oh.
I'm with you.
Is it
I'm
only
with
one?
you, Rick.
Is
I
it
think
only
it'll
one?
make a good joke. I think it'll make a good joke. Right now, I'm just really annoyed with it, but one day it'll be a good joke.
But I do have to give it to my beautiful wife, even though I shit on her. She's amazing. Holy crap. The day you had. So I went to the airport to go to D.C.
Yeah.
because I had shows in D.C.
Yes.
and Atlantic City. You went to the airport to bring the kids home.
Yes.
And it was a debacle.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. They
Dude,
did
American Airlines is a disaster.
No, but it wasn't just American Airlines. It was other people on other airlines in the same situation, and families with kids that were younger than mine that had been there even longer. I can't imagine it.
So her flight was supposed to be 4:00.
We were supposed to, I can't remember what time we were supposed to leave. We had to get to the airport at like 4:00.
What time did you leave?
We left at 11:30
At night.
in the evening.
Which, by the way, they were like, you're leaving at 11:30 to go to Dallas, and we ain't getting you home till the next day.
To get stuck in Dallas.
Yeah.
So at 1:30, I'm getting the kids from the airport into a hotel. And then the next day, we couldn't get on a plane until 2:00. So we just kind of chilled in Dallas, made our way to the airport.
And I met Mason, Eric, Timmy, the whole team in DC. National Harbor, I got to say, the staff there is amazing. The booker is this really big, voluptuous, beautiful black woman. And she is so happy and so sweet and great energy. And she gave me this beautiful plaque that we gotta show the video. Beautiful plaque that I get to put on the wall next to amazing acts. So it was really cool. Wake up the next day and drive to Atlantic City.
Yeah.
With old Jimmy Schubert and the team. Got to Atlantic City, and I gotta say, 2 years ago or last year, I played another casino.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it was a bad casino, because it was a very nice casino, and I'm very proud to have played there, and I would play there again. However, man, from DC, which was a very nice casino.
Yes. Was it an MGM casino?
It was an MGM, but it was very locals. It was very like, the locals around DC, and so it was kind of more of a chill vibe. Dude, we get to the Hard Rock. It was awesome. I mean, the energy was great.
Yeah.
The vibe in the Hard Rock was great. The casino was super clean. The rooms were awesome.
Yeah.
We had a sold out show. We end up doing a very, very nice dinner. And we sit down, we have steak, and we're just kind of hanging out. And then, and I wasn't going to talk about it, but you almost have to. You have to. All of a sudden, the room changed.
While you were at dinner?
At dinner.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, everybody pulls out their phones. And everybody's like, there has been an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. And there was a lot of like, no. And what? And no. And I mean, everybody's like now getting on their phones. Everybody's putting the news on their table. The whole restaurant. And you go to times in your life, and I have even asked my mom, I said, Mom, do you remember when
Kennedy was assassinated?
Kennedy assassinated?
I asked my mom the same thing.
And my mom said, yeah, I was a little girl, and we felt it and we knew it. And
when I asked my mom about it, you could tell she even she kind of didn't want to talk about it. She remembered it very specifically too.
I mean, so scary. And you're watching the footage and the aura. And remember, I am 30 minutes from starting the show.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out what's going on. At first, because at this time,
I wondered how you were going to handle that situation.
Well, at this time, they're still like, oh, it was a firework, or it was a glass that broke and hit him. It was still, we really didn't know
what was going
on. And then as the time went on, you started to realize, oh no, this was a real assassination attempt.
Yeah.
Number two, somebody lost their life, a fireman. Number three, like him, dislike him, whatever. We were half an inch away from an assassinated ex-president and running guy, and God knows what this country would have done, right? So it was just scary, and I thought to myself, I'm going to walk on stage.
Yeah.
I'm going to give these guys a show. And because I always give it up for veterans, at the end, I'm not going to mention it, but I did say, God bless America. Mm-hmm. And I said, if you would like to join me today, stand up. And you don't have to join me, but stand up. And me and the entire crowd did the Pledge of Allegiance. And it was beautiful, and it was awesome. And I am sick and tired of the division. I am sick and tired of the amount of people that aren't willing to have a conversation about our situation that we're having. I'm tired of the divisiveness.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the bullshit. We should all love each other. This is the United States of America. We are all members of the United States of America from all creeds and colors. And this is very scary, and we have to stop picking fights and looking for solutions versus mud throwing and politicians trying to make the other politicians, look bad instead of trying to be together, trying to unify our country. I hope that after this, we can unify and that we can get on a common ground that this is not okay, that antagonizing is not okay, that talking shit about our opponents is not okay, that riling up people to do things that they shouldn't is not okay. It's just scary. It's just scary. And I pray for my children. I pray for our country. I pray for healing. I pray that we can all come together in the whole world and love each other and stop the war and the violence and the divisiveness. I don't know what else to say. If anybody else has anything to say, please say it. Rick, how quickly did you find out? Did he hang up on us?
How did the show go?
Sorry, I was on mute. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, it was about 20 minutes after it happened. I saw a text or a headline, and you can't take anything now as serious until you start looking at all the sources.
Yeah.
So it took me a second to figure out if it was real or not.
Yeah, unfortunately, the news has become entertainment versus the facts. And like Rick just said, you now cannot take headlines serious anymore.
Yeah.
We live in a time where, constantly there's these rumors, oh, Kevin Costner's dead. And then you have to literally look it up 3 or 4 different places to make sure that it's bullshit. Like, it's really scary.
Yeah.
It's really scary. And I think that these social media platforms have a huge responsibility to make sure that we are not encouraging violence on any side. Any side.
Yeah.
I love what Chris Ledoux said in the beginning of that cowboy hat. Rick, if you could end the episode, and I know this is more work for you, with what Chris Ledoux said, and I'll pull it up right now, but we can also end it with that. What's going on? Why isn't my thing working?
I feel like you've told me before what he said, and I can't remember it. Do you need my phone?
Maybe it'll work where we don't have to edit it in. Let's see here. Where is it?
Is it in the song?
It's the beginning of the song, but I'll play it right now so we can all hear it. Here we go.
Well, there's always been groups of people that never could see eye to eye. But I always thought if they ever had a chance to sit down and talk face to face, they might realize they got a lot in common.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Did you hear it, Rick?
No, but I'm not on the microphone.
Oh,
so.
well, I'll quote it. He says, there's always been groups of people who don't see eye to eye. I always thought if they ever had a chance to sit down, they would realize that they had a lot in common. It's just scary. It really is. It is just scary, and it brings up so many conversations.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're talking about a human being that lost their life. We're talking about a political person that could have, had he been shot, erupted this country into something very scary. We're talking about a president on the other side that nobody is willing to say it is time to sit down and step back because of power. It's scary. We live in a scary world. But I just want everybody to know that I love you all, each and every one of you, for your differences, for who you are, for who you want to be. I believe this is the United States of America. I believe that you have the right to be who you want to be within reason of not affecting other people's lives. I want to do what I want to do with my family, and I would like you to leave me alone. And I would like you to do what you think is best for your family, and I will leave you alone. It's very scary. Very scary. But the show went great. And then afterwards, the show was great. All the shows. But you're talking about that show specifically.
Yeah.
Everybody had a great time. Jimmy Schubert brought somebody backstage. And then Jimmy goes, wow, what a show. You know, even knowing that there was an assassination attempt today and Donald Trump got shot, and the two girls were like, what?
Oh, there were people in the audience.
So they didn't even know that had happened.
Yeah.
So I would assume that there was probably other people partying at the Hard Rock, having a good time.
Hadn't seen it.
Walking into the show, had not been paying attention, right? Yeah. So either way, I do love everybody. And love is the most important. We should love everybody. We should respect everybody. And we should allow everybody to have their own opinions for their own family. And you should be willing to, and ready to have an intelligent conversation with your neighbor. Because like Chris Ledoux said, I think that we are more alike than we are different. I'd like to give it up to our sponsors who make this possible. Aztec Chevrolet. They're absolutely wonderful people. Please give them a chance. Any vehicle you want, they've got it. Aztec Chevrolet, we love you. Thank you for all of your love and support over the years. Rao Western Wear, we're selling so many shirts, we can't keep them in stock. So if you're buying a Rao shirt and it's not in stock, please be patient with us. We are a mom and pop shop and we're trying to grow. So sometimes we don't have your size or we're out of a certain style, but we are working on it. So thank you for all the love and support for Rao Western Wear. Old Salt Coffee is the most delicious coffee ever. Give them an opportunity and pick cherries. And also another sponsor, my friend Rick on Hulu, has a wonderful show called
How I Caught My Killer.
How I Caught My Killer. And it is on Hulu. It is their number one show over there. Rick is the producer, director, writer, creator, cameraman. He's everything.
That's so crazy.
Nobody else gets any credit. Just Rick. But it's called How I Caught My Killer. And it is hugely successful. And it's very, very interesting TV. I got to tell you. Very interesting TV. So please tune in, check it out, and support my friend Rick. We love you guys. We will see you next time. God bless America. God bless Texas. And God bless the world. May we all have peace and love.